Today is June 7th. Welcome on into Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com, presented by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey and Rammer. The Cardinals open up a series tonight down at Tropicana Field in Tampa. Have you ever been down there?
Done games from there. It's really awful.
Claib said earlier today, this will mark that he has been to every stadium after that, besides the one in Texas. This is the final stadium on his list today that the Cardinals have played at.
Yeah, I have to count them again. It's around 30, but many, I'll make the list for tomorrow, but most of them are gone.
Yeah, that's what I asked him. One of the things was, are there any that are no longer the stadiums that are no longer up that you miss? And he said, no, it was time for all of those to go.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, maybe my favorite of one that's gone though was Tiger Stadium. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, we'll see the ones gone off the top of my head: Denver, Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Houston. There's been a bunch.
Is the one in Denver though
high?
Is that's still where they play though, right? That's still where the Broncos play.
No, that's Coors Field.
I know. I'm saying where the Broncos still play though.
No, they built a new football stadium.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay. That one opened in 2001. Okay. Yeah, I went back
it was really neat. It was really neat because this gigantic section of left field stands were sitting on runners in water, and they hydraulically moved the left field stands back and forth for baseball or football. Really a pretty cool design.
That's interesting. I thought that was always the stadium there. I didn't realize that they had actually built a new one. I just thought that's kind of like Soldier Field where they renovated. No, they built the Empower Field, Mile High Stadium Sports Authority, whatever it used to be called, was built in 2001. So that's the landscape of Denver changed around that time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The Tampa Bay Rays can't figure out a way to build a new stadium down in Florida, whether it's locally or just statewide government. They can't figure it out, and the Cardinals are going to play there tonight for 3 games.
Yeah, has it been 10 years ago, maybe longer? There was what I thought was a fantastic design for a covered but open air ballpark where Al Lang Field is. For those who have been to Tampa downtown, it's several blocks east of Tropicana Field, but on the water, at the edge of the water. That's where Al Lang Field was, where the Cardinals played for 57 years in spring training. And it was a really cool design, but they never could get the finances together.
Yeah, they are struggling with that. The Cardinals, though, come into this series taking 3 of 5 from the Cubs. They should be all healthy outside of Genesis Cabrera and ready to pitch tonight. They will have on the mound Dakota Hudson going against a lefty by the name of Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs, your starter tonight for Tampa. So with a lefty on the mound, the Cardinals prior to the game today made a roster move and activated Tyler O'Neill. I was really shocked by that because they I figured Dylan Carlson would be back before Tyler O'Neill, given the severity of both of their injuries.
Well, shoulder impingement, phantom injury. He started hitting and he came back.
Is that? I mean, you think
that's my working theory?
And if he was hitting, I thought maybe they would have him work longer down in AAA just to say, okay, you know what? Let's keep working this out and figure it out and make sure it's going to stick. So they go with Tyler O'Neill activating him. So here's the lineup they go with tonight. Tommy Edmonds at second base, Paul Goldschmidt at first, Nolan Arenado at third, Albert Pujols DHing and batting cleanup, Tyler O'Neill right back there in the 5th spot in the lineup in left field. Harrison Bader in center, Molina behind the plate, and Mundo Sosa is at short, and Brendan Donovan in right field. For the Rays, Randy Arozarena is in left, G-Man Choi is at first, Manuel Margot is DHing, Kevin Kiermaier is in center, Isaac Paredes is at third, Brett Phillips in right, Francisco Mejia is behind the plate, Taylor Walls is at short, and Vital Buren is at second base for the Rays. Jeffrey Spring is your pitcher. Vital Buren. That sounds like it should have been a pitcher back in that back in the day. Vita Blue, Vita Buren. I get similar.
Sounds to me like an anti-inflammatory medicine.
That could work too. Yeah, we'll talk to Dr. Rick and see if he's prescribed that to anybody.
A couple of things in the lineup. I'm a little surprised that Yepez is not in the lineup and playing right field. I guess they're going to go with a little better defense that way, which I respect, but I like Yepez's bat in the lineup against a left-hand hitter. And then the other thing, one of the comps that I really like is, and I've thought this for a couple of years, Kiermaier, the center fielder, the terrific center fielder for Tampa. I've always thought that he and Bader, he to me, he plays like Bader's older brother. That's the comp to look at. If you can just hit enough to stay in the lineup, then your defense makes you valuable for that lineup. And he's hitting well this year. He's having a good year.
Yeah, I agree with you on the defensive alignment. With Dakota Hudson on the mound, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. So putting Yepez in right field isn't the worst thing, is it? You're not, and when you have O'Neill and Bader already in center and in left, the defense that you have in the outfield, you're already covering 3/4 of that outfield with their speed and their defense. That I feel like Yepez hiding in right field isn't a bad thing, and it also gets that other lefty out of your lineup, and that's something that you can change as the game goes on and make those improvements. So I would wonder what the reason is behind that. You have seen with lefties on the mound, Donovan hitting ninth and playing the outfield, so this isn't a shocking development with him out there, but maybe it is a little surprising that they didn't just go full righty with that and see how much fun you can have with Yepez batting fifth and O'Neill batting sixth.
I also think it's funny that, and this is just rhetoric that comes from management, and we know management for a long, long time will say dumb things to protect players, but Gorman's not up here to platoon. He's going to play every day. Yeah, he plays every day, except if a left-hander's pitching. I'm okay with it. In fact, that's what I would do. He would be my DH every day against right-handers. I just think it's funny that they say one thing and it naturally falls into place that goes against what they said.
Yeah, and they have a lot of right-handed bats on that team. So that's where I don't hate it that they bench him against lefties.
No, that's
because
not my point.
they have the options there.
Yeah.
So
no, I think it was a good. Yeah. I think it was a good move. I just think it's funny the reality after he's not coming up here he's playing every day at second base. Oh, okay. Okay.
So, no, by the way, if you notice in the lineup, no Wander Franco, he's dealing with a quad injury. So hopefully at some point this week, we get to see one of the most exciting players in all of baseball, the 21-year-old superstar for the Tampa Bay Rays. Hopefully we get to see that, but you do get to see quite a few guys that you already mentioned. Kiermaier on there. We know all about Randy Arozarena and what he's capable of. And I think at this point, I think we're over that trade. Are we? Or are we looking at what the Cardinals got in return? Or I think we're okay.
Well,
right?
here's the thing. Here's what we've learned. It's probably historically, but certainly in recent years, Tampa knows how to come up with arms, and the Cardinals know how to come up with outfielders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you look at just everybody else that's stock below too. Now that's in the double AAA, and who is spread out around
Yeah.
baseball. Yeah, the Cardinals know how to draft their some of those outfielders. This is Tyler O'Neill's first game back since May 17th. That doubleheader against the Mets. The last time Tyler O'Neill had a multi-hit game was all the way back on May 5th. Has not homered since May 4th. That average when he was sent on the injured list was all the way down to 195. He was struggling quite a bit. So we'll see in that first at bat what kind of, if there's any visible adjustments that were made to his swing, to his approach at the plate, and then I guess we'll base everything else on results.
Yeah, he did a nice job at AAA, and I expect him to be back. And can he play, the next 4 months as well as he played in the last 4 months last year? I don't know, but if he does, look out. The Cardinals are going to be really good.
He you know what? He is if you miss this little factoid, this little stat, he was player of the month back in September, which means the Cardinals right now have the reigning 3 in a row players of the month. We're 7 days in. I don't think anyone has really jumped out and taken that so far in the first
not sure
7 days of the season, but still plenty of time for somebody to get hot.
There was a kid that hit for the cycle. Was it last night or the night before?
With the Mets. No, I'm talking just the Cardinals. I want the Cardinals to win 4 in a row. Yeah, I want the Cardinals to win it for the 4th month in a row. Rammer, I'm greedy. I don't want that's been in the building now for 3 months. It stays in the building.
Donovan.
There you go. That's, you know what? You're right. Yeah, Brendan Donovan. But do they give him player of the month, or do they just give him rookie of the month though? Or does he get both? I don't know.
Let's get greedy.
Okay, if you want to give them all of them, that's fine with me. Hey, some other news and notes from around baseball. I know we usually save it for Friday, but these are notable. The Angels have parted ways with Joe Madden, a 12-game losing streak right now for the Angels, and you know what? I'm on board with it. You have 2 of the most exciting players in all of baseball. You have the best player this generation right now that has not won a playoff game in Mike Trout. If you are not going to make the playoffs again this year, we have no need for you. It's embarrassing, I would imagine, to be an Angels fan at this point, knowing how they are wasting the career of Mike Trout.
It's a crime. It's truly a crime that that's the case. And here's another thing. Their pitching isn't that bad. Pitching's pretty good. They've got a set 5-man rotation. But what's going on with their offense? Rendon is hurt again. That hurts them overall. But they've got some other good players. Walsh is a nice player. It feels like the competitive – I'm not saying great pieces, but competitive pieces are there. And you've got 2 of the better players in all of baseball. I don't know how Joe Cool has let that thing slip away.
Yeah, he got into it a little bit with a reporter last night after the game. I don't know if you saw or read the transcript for that, but Madden and I believe the reporter Sam Blum was the reporter's name. He tweeted out the transcript of that, just asking him how competitive the team was and if they were actually fighting. The fact that they lost 12 games in a row, and Joe Madden was very upset about the questioning that he received last night, and something in the front office. There are a lot of problems right now in that Angels front office that go from on the field to a new field and even beyond with some of the things they're dealing with.
With that losing streak, it coincides with Trout's slump. And it's to me, it's kind of hard to put that on Madden when Trout goes 0 for 20 something, whatever it was. Having said that, I mean, it's kind of been the same old song now for 3 years with him. And I can understand why they're frustrated.
Put a trade package together for me for the Cardinals to land Mike Trout at the deadline this year.
We'll work on that.
Okay. Well, we got a month or so to deal with that. And also too, I don't know if you saw, Derek Gould had an article out, Manny Machado, when they were in town last week, wondering what Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina were getting on their farewell tour. Manny Machado and I did not speak while the Padres were in town. last week, but it's nice to know that he and I are on the same wavelength right now, wondering where these gifts are.
You know, what's funny about that too is you're not a Johnny Hustle guy either.
I know when to conserve my energy for later in the game.
Yeah.
So it's you just you play smarter, not harder. That's that's the way it goes. But no, I appreciate that that he is looking out for those two players, wondering what it is how they are going to be honored. I don't know. I don't know if Tampa gives anything, does anything for those two. That's an American League East team. Not a whole lot of time there. Definitely Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. You got to say something, have something on the scoreboard.
They've seen pool holes a lot. They've seen pool holes a lot. That's no excuse.
Okay. I mean, do Albert and Yachty care in front of 5,000 people on Thursday afternoon in Tampa, though? Right.
Probably they don't.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. And you're on the watchtower making sure people respect.
Not so. See, this is a pass. This is one I go, okay, maybe not. I don't know. But I think down the road, we got Boston coming up in about 10 days. They're going to be in Boston where they have played World Series. You know, they had a World Series out there. You got to bring David Ortiz out to honor the two of them and give them something for that. That's just my thoughts. But we'll address that as that game comes along. Hey, this has been another edition of Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. We're brought to you each and every day by Royal Banks of Missouri and Mungenast St. Louis Acura. Hey, go online to stlouisacura.com, serving the St. Louis area since 1986 and the nation's only 30-time Acura Precision Team winner. You can go to the website, stlouisacura.com, look at what it'll take for them to buy your car, and check out some of the all-new 2022 MDXs, just magnificent-looking vehicles that they have right there on the out there on the lot at Mungenast St. Louis Acura. Cardinal game tonight at 6:10. We will be back tomorrow for another edition here of Daily Cards Live. For Bob Ramsey, I'm Joe Roderick. Talk to you tomorrow.
From our roots in St. Louis, Royal Banks of Missouri is branching out to continue serving you with our locations in St. Charles, Jerseyville, Granite City, and now in Hannibal, Center, and New London. Royal Banks of Missouri, the community bank in your community.